Hello. Lads, lasses, people with glasses, and of course, all of those in between. My name, in case you didn't already know, is Dexter, and welcome to tonight's Low Energy Livestream. I'm just gonna quickly... Yes, I do have that turned off. Right, welcome to tonight's Low Energy Livestream. Tonight is Wednesday, the 13th of the 3rd, 2019, for those of you that may not know. Right, so... because Facebook has been a right pain in the arse tonight and hasn't been fantastic at letting me actually research stuff and share stuff, this may be a little bit different than normal. It may be interesting. We may get some people in, we may not. Don't know. We may have low numbers tonight, but I'm sure we can. I've got the wrong T-shirt on. I can only wear it if she's washed it. But. Yes, and instead tonight I am wearing my. This T-shirt was trialed. This T-shirt was tested on dinosaurs. It didn't fit. T-shirt. So, thank you very much for joining us tonight, guys. As I said, today has been a bit of a pain in the arse for some reason. Good evening, Tony. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Right. And the same goes for the rest of you guys. I hope that you are all doing fantastic. So yes, for some reason, Facebook today has not been allowing me to share stuff. So I don't know what's going on. It hasn't been allowing us to comment on posts. It hasn't been allowing us to share my feed. Albert mentioned earlier on that he's been attempting to share the feed round, and to no avail. So tonight, it looks like it may just be the four of you. Brilliant, champion. Thank you very much, man. How was your experience the other week? I bet that was a bit of a surprise. Well, Colin, I know I'm not particularly small, but I'm not. Come on. I mean, maybe something like, what are the little combi things? They look like velociraptors, but they're about the size of a chicken, something like that sort of size. I suppose it would fit one of them. Not well, but be too big. Yes, Tony, I bet it wasn't. Now, I will warn you, because since you're here, I was going to touch on what happened with yous, but if you'd rather that I didn't, then say so now, and I will leave that section out. But so anyway, I'll let you decide. I'll let you post up if you want anything said or not. Brilliant, charming. I have got a statement from you that was shared on Facebook. Cherie screen captured it. Hello there, Ron. I hope I pronounced that right. I bet you have, mate. It's not very often that happens. So it's kind of good for them to actually be able to get somebody's point of view on it. I don't want to say too much, because obviously I don't want to give things away. But yes, we'll hopefully I'll be able to touch on that. And if I get anything wrong, if you hang on, I'll try and cover that. What is one of the first things for tonight? Colin, what makes you think I'm not going to? But yes. Yes, if I get anything wrong, please feel free to correct us. But other than the fact that obviously everyone in the thread now everyone in the thread in the comments now knows that you were involved. But I will try and leave the other guys' names out of it for the most part, because I don't want to kind of drop anyone in it or anything like that. Right, and I think I would say one. Right, charming. I'll try and bear that in mind. Right, then, so. For those that are my regulars, those guys that know that I do, the first thing I do whenever I do one of my live streams, or at least whenever I do one of my low energy live streams, is I do a game shout out for what is coming up this weekend. And just for those that are in the UK, if you just want to get to a game this weekend, I try and point you in the right direction for something. Might not always work, but hopefully. Right. So the first one that we've got is there is a there is a Mayhem walk-on at Mayhem Essex, which is being held on Sunday. It's £50 entry with a box of sterling or custom when you pre-book. There is also options to upgrade to GI 3-star or 4-star. There is 16 game zones, and it has been, and there is also heated kit rooms, which is of course a nice touch. There is also there is a big game on this weekend, one that has kind of just come out of the blue. I wasn't even aware of it until a couple of days ago. But it is Genesis Series Chapter 1 Incubation. It, as I said, it is a big game. It has been hosted by Warped at and located roughly in Wolverhampton. As I said, it's a big game. Again, it's been hosted on Sunday. It is £30 entry. You can save £10 if you are in the Warped Club, but you must present your ID when you attend. And for buy paint, it is £30 for a box. It is the VCU, which is the Viral Containment Unit, versus the Wretched, which are, by the looks of it, zombies or possibly like infected cannibals. So possibly think along the lines of 28 Days Later. So if anybody happens to be in the area and attends that one, I would actually appreciate if anyone would let us know what it runs like, because if it sounds like this is going to be a series of games, and it'd be kind of interesting to see what they're like, and possibly even to maybe be able to attend one in the future myself. Right, next we have a walk on at Ambush, which is located roughly in Southampton. Again, this is Sunday. Entry is £25, including a Domino's personal sized pizza and a cake. Beautiful. My regular viewers know that I happen to love Domino's and cake. Paint is £25 a box, and it is site paint. Well, there is a difference. If you're a rental player, it is site paint only, but there is also the option for regular players to have bring your own paint as well. And good evening, Ben. Welcome to the stream. Finally, we have Paintball Park Kidderminster is hosting their mini walk-on again on Sunday. Now, I'm assuming that this is all the same information as the last month's mini walk-on event. So if I have got any of this information wrong, if anyone happens to know, please feel free to tell us, and I will try and correct that in the stream as we're going. If I haven't got the information correct, and yet something goes, then if you turn up at the site and yes, I've got something wrong, tell them that I got something wrong. It won't make any difference, but you can then come back and tell me that I got something wrong. So anyway, if it is the same as last month's, there is no entry fee. It is Tomahawk 0, Competition, or GI 3-star. Again, this seems to be becoming a running theme at sites. Free Dominoes and a drink when you book online. And the day's photos will also be free of charge. Right, and we've just had Martello pop up from the Paintball magazine. On Target Games has a walk-on in Cornwall this Sunday. And cream on first. The jam. Yeah, yes, Ben. The jam on first. Nah, I don't care. I'll eat it either way. But right, Martello, can you give a pricing on that? And I'll read them out now as we're going. And also, if you send us a link on Facebook, if you happen to have an events page for that, and I know some sites put up events pages for each individual thing that they have, some don't, but if you send us any details, I'll share that also up on my Facebook page. So hopefully, if I'm happening to miss anything, guys, if you go over, you don't have to like it, but if you bookmark my Facebook page, I share pretty much everything that I talk about on my live stream on there as well. So if I miss anything, or if I share memes and stuff on there as well, so yeah, there's my Facebook page if you go over there and you want to check that out. Right, so for On Target Walk on this coming Sunday in Cornwall, it is £20. Bring your own paint, or there is also Valken, GI, and ProShot available on site. So guys, that's another one that you can get down there, go check out, and come back, let us know what it was like. Right, did I miss anything there? No, I don't think I did. So thank you very much for that, Martello. Thank you very much for the information there, and hopefully I've got everything right. Try to share from the Unite page, but Brexit is... I know, Ben, this is... I was talking about this just before you got on, but for some reason, both me and Albert haven't been able to share anything today on Facebook. So the fact that anybody has seen my live stream tonight is amazing. It must mean that some people are actually expecting this to go ahead and to happen. So thank you very much, guys. It is muchly appreciated. However, what is going on with Facebook? You see, this is why I've been trying to push to people to try and diversify with the pages, because Facebook messes up for one night and I can't share anything all day. I haven't been able to comment on anything. I haven't been able to, and I'm not even just talking paintball pages. I haven't been able to comment on just random stuff. I haven't been able to share any links or anything. It's been rubbish. So there we go. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the same for me, Ben. Every time I try and post anything, I'm just getting, sorry, this page is faulty, or it's something like that. So, there we go. Anyway, Tony, are you still about? I'll give you a second to respond to that, because I know that to you guys, you probably will get a little bit of time delay. Right. I'm hoping that you are. Because, as I said... Oh, sorry, not you, Tony Fullerton. Right. Brilliant. I'm going to cover your story first. Now, I'm going to try and touch on this one. I'm going to try and touch on this one as neutrally as possible. To be fair, Martello, you probably know what I'm going to be talking about here anyway. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go ahead and do what I was suggesting to you, but let's get into this. So, not last week, weekend before, OMG was hosting Zavod, which I believe is held in the Stanley factory. Yes, you probably have, yeah. Yeah, so Zavod was being held, or Return to Zavod was being held in the Stanley factory, not last weekend, the weekend before. Now, and as I said, Tony, please feel free to correct us if I get anything wrong here. Tony and a couple of the other guys from his team, you like cheese on your nachos over there? I never really bother having nachos, mate, but when I do, yes. So, Tony and a couple of other guys went down to go and attend the Zavod game, the Return to Zavod game by OMG. They booked into a hotel, and I believe you booked in around about 2 o'clock. Or it might have been about 2 o'clock, 2:30 or something like that, and this is in the afternoon. Not in the morning, so it's not like ridiculous, the hours, or dodgy hours or anything. They went inside, they dumped all their gear inside the room, which is standard practice for any of you that go away to paintball events and use hotels. When booking in, they told the staff that they were there to attend a paintball event. Now, Tony, can I get confirmation on this? Was this Friday night or Friday afternoon? And yes, Ben, that's what we're going to talk about. So was this Friday afternoon? Because the impression that I got was that this was Friday afternoon, and that you were then going to be, I think Zavod was just on the Sunday, and that you were going to be in the area from the Friday night through the Saturday and then on to the Sunday. That was the impression that I picked up anyway. So, anyway, Tony, the other guys, they get in there, they dump their gear, they then went out. I'm not exactly sure. It didn't say in the article or anything what time they went out. Sunday afternoon, arrived around about 2:30, 3 o'clock. Brilliant. Thank you very much for the information, Tony. So they then went out. At some point between them leaving and then returning, the police were contacted. And now, Tony, can you tell us what time roughly you got back to the room? You went to meet a good friend who lives in Sheffield, left the room about 4. Right, so you were in the room for about an hour, maybe it's an hour and a half. You then went out, and now in the article, it says that the police were contacted around about 10:30. But it was also said somewhere else that you were out of the room by 11:30. Because unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, Tony and the other guys from his crew were getting ready for bed when they heard a knock at the door. So he got back to the room for about 10:30. Right, brilliant, thank you. So Tony and his mates, they got back to the room about 10:30, They're getting ready for bed. You know, they're sitting there having a bit of talk, as you know we've all done numerous times. When they hear a knock at the door, so one of the lads goes to go and check the door. Can't see anyone, so he thinks it's somebody playing funny buggers. Opens the door and basically has the rifle of a barrel pointed at his face. He is pulled outside. The police then swarm the room, and as I understand it, it was 14 police officers raided the room. So the Tony and the other guy were, you know, they were. I'm assuming these ladies were probably restrained because the manager had contacted the police. Now, this isn't a story that I relish talking about, because whenever the police are involved with paintball events and stuff like that, it's never good press. It never comes across as being good press. But I did think it was important for me to talk about this tonight. Now, the big issue with these lads, them being raided, was the fact that they were mag-fed players. And I think that obviously has played a massive part in this story. But I don't blame them. It's your choice of play style. Can't fault you on that. But of course, these are using realistic equipment. So the police have then, you know, detained the lads. They've gone through their equipment. One of the police officers took a photo, posted it on Twitter with something along the lines of irresponsible use of airsoft equipment. Posted this photo up online and then removed it relatively shortly afterwards. Now, I find that to be kind of interesting, because that is almost the police admitting fault in that. At least that's my opinion. You know, if the police post something up and then remove it, that means to me that that kind of, they're admitting they're in the wrong a little bit. I don't know. So the police confirmed. Now, as I understand, there has been a statement from the police confirming irresponsible airsoft weapon ownership. Yeah, you've got the screenshot, and the poster, the Twitter post before they deleted it. Well, that's it. I've seen the screenshot as well, because they did, of course, post it in the article on the Sun newspaper. And they said they seized all the guns. Well, which obviously they didn't, because they admitted that there was nothing, that he hadn't done anything wrong, that there wasn't any irresponsible use, and gave you all your gear back when they found out that was paintball equipment. Now, where stuff gets really kind of interesting, as Tony has said, him and the other lads, they left the room at about 4 o'clock. Now, the question is, how did the police end up getting involved? Well, as I understand it, and again, Tony, feel free to correct us if I get anything wrong here, the police have said that the manager had apparently contacted the police after they saw that the door was open to the room, went in, and that the gear was just lying around, which I find very difficult to believe. I mean, yes, okay, accidents happen. Any of us could leave our door open, but if you've ever stayed in like a travel lodge or any of these sort of hotels, they all have sort of self-closing doors. So you would have had to have wedged the door open to have the door just wide open so anyone could walk by and see. Now, yeah, this is it. That to me, Ben, is bollocks. I mean, like I said, we've all stayed at these sorts of like travel lodges. I can't think what the other one is. I can't think, but the police told you that the manager went into their room, went through our stuff, but then the manager said the door was open when the doors were auto-closed. Well, that's exactly it. So the manager has admitted that they've gone, well, at least to the police. Now, unfortunately, and I'm not calling you a liar, but we've only got your word on that at this moment, that the police told you. Now, like I said, I'm not calling you a liar, but we do only have your word on that now. So, but let's just assume that what you have said is true. Now, if that is the case, what that manager has done there is completely uncalled for. You know, the idea that somebody just goes into somebody's hotel room, and I would be inclined to question Why have they just gone into someone's hotel room? But it does also then lead me to other questions. The manager then denied it next day upon asking for a refund, and all of the gear was in gun bags. Yeah, well, this is it. It does say in the article that all of the equipment was in gun bags, and I believe that the police also confirmed that the equipment was stored correctly, or at least, and I will give them the argument, I will give them the dues of that, it was stored correctly at that point. Now, we don't know, and we only have your word again. Now, this isn't an attack, it's just me running things through in my head. Now, if it was all stored correctly, even if the door had been open, there still should have been no evidence that would have suggested anything dodgy, which again implies that that person, or that manager, has then just let themselves into your room. And do they do this to other people's rooms? Do they look like real gun bags or gun cases? Well, now, Chan, I would be inclined to believe that at least some of them will have probably looked like real gun cases. But even then, you've told them on the door that you're there for paintball. Now, the only way that I could see any justification would be... Now, I'm assuming that if this was Friday night, yous have probably turned up in normal clothes. However, if yous had turned up in full like, blacked out gear or full Tony bags, just like suitcases... Wait, that's you, Chan, sorry. Tony bags just look like suitcases. And Chan, how much did we leave hanging around at Heroes? Well, that's it. I mean, it's not uncommon for people to I've even done it, just left gear lying in a hotel room. But right, so Tony, right, what we're saying, they were in hard cases and one twin rifle bag. Also got called a terrorist, and it was normal clothes. Right. Who called you a terrorist? That's it, Albert. It is completely bang out of order. Now, but as I was saying, if you had turned up and you were wearing like full DPM gear, or you were wearing all blacked out gear, and you had she-mags on and all this sort of stuff, then I could have understood some suspicion. If you had walked in and you were carrying assault vests outside of your kit bags, the hotel manager called you terrorists. You kind of just start levying accusations like that at people, because in this day and age, accusations can ruin people's lives and careers. Now, like I was saying, if you rocked up and you're carrying, like, if you're decked out in military gear and you're carrying an assault vest outside of stuff, and you're walking along talking about shooting and killing people and stuff like that, and like, oh, I can't wait to run in and shoot this area up or something like that, then I could have understood suspicion. But even then, that person, because it was in the article, if you are interested, is linked down below. If you've gone in doing all of that sort of stuff, then yes, I could have understood genuine suspicion, because there is the idea of, say something, see something. It's very prevalent in this day and age. But surely that manager has then gone in and gone through your gear, so they knew what they had. Now, I can even understand, with these having mag-fed equipment, I can understand them, like this manager, if I can't justify them going in, but I can justify if the point where they've opened the bag and they see something that to them looks like a real gun, them going, oh fuck, and phoning the police. But I can't justify them going into the bag. That at that point, I can't justify them going into the room. If they thought that you were that dodgy, they should have informed the police at that point, and they should not have been going into your room and going through your stuff unless they had the police with them. In which case, surely the police could have gone through the stuff and known what it was. At least you would have hoped so, anyway. What they've done is bang out of order, but if you rock up with suspicious-looking cases and gun bags, it's bound to raise suspicion. I can kind of understand that argument, Chan, definitely. Now, Ben, unfortunately, I know what you're saying about like 9mm versus 68 cal, but the problem is, it's not just 9mm, is it? I mean, yeah, 9mm you'd expect for a handgun, but certain calibers, certain kinds of handguns, like say, Berettas and things like that. But you then got 68 cal could be mistaken, I suppose, for some larger caliber stuff like 7.62. I mean, I know it's still smaller, but it is a larger bore. And that's assuming that they're prepared to actually look at the barrel of the barrel of the marker and see that it's that sort of size comparison. But I think chances are the manager has probably opened the bag, saw what they thought was a real gun, and then freaked out. Now there was also people. I know 7.62 is smaller than 9mm. Is it? Yeah, I suppose it is. Yeah, isn't it? I suppose I'm just thinking of the entire round, not just the bullet. Like 50 cal, yeah. We agreed that it was fine if he suspected something, but they left it until 10:30 to call the police. Well, that was it, Tony. I did see in the article that that was what I was getting at earlier on. They contacted the police at around about 10:30. The police turned up. Obviously, they raided the room, and then they just were kicked out of the hotel by about 11:30, was it? So within the space of an hour, they contacted the police, had the police come out, raid your room, caused you and the other residents of the hotel distress, and then kicked you out. And have they decided if they're going to give you a refund yet or not? Because I did see that you were having problems with that you were waiting for the area manager to come back to try and sort something out then. Well, that's it, Chan. The round is much bigger. The round is much bigger because obviously 7.62 was designed to travel a lot further than a 9mm. In 9mm are generally used for smaller weaponry. Blah. Yeah. Kicked out of the hotel at 11:30. Police didn't even take names, and no waiting for the area manager. Didn't come back as he's in Dubai. Right, fair enough. So overall, I think we can classify that as a complete fuck-up that has been instigated by somebody sticking their nose in where it wasn't needed. Now, I do agree, if you see something suspicious, then yes. But why didn't they just phone the police the moment that they thought that something was sus? I mean, if they thought these were terrorists, and that person has gone in, seen that you have what they think are weapons... if they turned up and had what they thought were weapons, if they've gone through your bag, thought that what you had were legit weapons, surely they should have phoned the police there and then, and they could have had a team ready and waiting for the nab yous the minute he's walked back through the door, not as he's getting and he's busy getting ready for bed. Oh, yeah. I know our guns look different, but how can they manage to be allowed to go through the gear? It's not on. I totally agree. That's exactly it, Albert. I totally agree. It's completely uncalled for that person to have, the manager to have gone through the room. It should have been a copper, if anyone, and if they thought that there was something up. And they called the police, and the police had come out and gone in, quickly checked the room, gone, yeah, there's what appears to be weapons. And then they'd set up a sting. I could have completely understood. But anyway, for those that are, don't want to, or maybe is a bit more interested, there is a link in the description down below for you to go check it out. Right. Ballistics discussion. Don't get this in Barcelona. We don't really have this conversation that much in the UK either, but yet here I am. It's the type of gear bags that's caught his eye. Are gear bags just like sports bags? Now, I'll agree with you there, Chan, but you've also got to think how many airsofters have done this exact same thing without being raided. I mean, airsoft take their milsim stuff a hell of a lot more seriously than any of us do, and yet at least it doesn't happen very often where someone gets raided. Now, I know that there is actually incidents happen, but they're not that often. But still, there could have been competition shooters or something. Now, as I said, if you had rocked up and you were wearing military gear, wearing she-mags, talking about killing people, carrying tac vests, and you made some comments about, God will justify our actions or something, then yes, I could have totally understood. But no, for somebody to just go in and raid your room, and I'm not talking about the police there, I'm talking about the manager. Nah, that is bad. That is very bad. Johnny 3 Tiers. How's the rest of Hollywood Undead going at the minute? PPQ real steel pistol is 45 cal and is the same size as the PPQ 43 paintball pistol. Yeah, well, I mean, the PPQ, the umarex PPQ, is designed to be a near as possible one-to-one replica. It's designed to look real. Just like, I suppose, all right, yes, it's completely blacked out, but I suppose that the umarex shotgun is designed to look as realistic as it can. I don't think the revolver is. I don't think the HDR50 is as close to realistic as it could have possibly been. But I don't know. I don't know what the idea is behind that. Well, that's it, Chan. Like you're carrying a hockey kit in as do our jerseys. Well, that's it. I mean, like normal paintballers, if you're just wearing a jersey and stuff, we could be mistaken for hockey players, to be fair. We're just missing the hockey sticks. But it's just different styles. The horses for courses. Tony, one of the coppers was a total dickhead, but there was one copper who loved all the gear and understood your point. Well, this is it. I've got a story about that. There was a guy who a couple of years ago opened up a site not far from where I live. I actually met him working at Delta Force, but I only ever worked there for 3 sessions, so don't hold that against us too much. But guy called Pete, really canny bloke. He tried to start his own site, and unfortunately, I don't know if he gave it up or what exactly happened, but unfortunately, the site's not there anymore. But anyway, he's actually the manager of a couple of garages, petrol stations, and there was somebody, I think it was a friend of his, came into the shop. He mentioned paintball. The guy was interested. So he went, "Oh, do you want to come have a look at my gun? It's in the back of my car." So he takes the guy out, goes to the back of his car, shows him his Tipman A5 in the back of his car. The guy has a bit of a look at it. "Oh, that's kind of cool." Somebody saw it. I mean, doing it on a garage forecourt probably wasn't the best of ideas, but somebody saw it. They crack on, they're on with their day, and it was like half an hour later or something, riot vans in, police come storming the place, and they said, they came in, there was this one stroppy young lass who was like obviously leading everyone, comes in and say, "Where's the weapon?" Yeah. And ultimately he realised that she was talking about the gun, about the paintball marker. They pointed out to her, and she was in the right strop about this. It's like, you can't be having this, and apparently the rest of the coppers were just. It's a toy. It's effectively an adult toy. It's not a weapon. Well, surely we can confiscate. No, it's a paintball marker. It's not a weapon. And she went off in a strop. The lads had a bit of a talk with him about it, and that was the end of it. I also knew a lad when I was in college the first time round that had an airsoft revolver, and the police raided his house while they were all sitting smoking weed, and he had an airsoft revolver. So that apparently looked legit. Now the coppers, they confiscated everything that they had, but apparently when he told us that when the coppers sitting looking at it, they're all sitting on the sofa, and the coppers like, "This is awesome," having a good look at it. So yeah, there you go. Anyway, right. But to end it, a decent manager should know what events are going on locally. Well, you'd hope so, but unfortunately, and this is one of the things I hope that I can help do, is, and I'm not saying that my show will do it, but I want to try and raise the profile of paintball. You see, if you raise if there'd been a football event on that weekend, you can almost guarantee that manager will have known that there was a football event on. But you say paintball, and people think, "Oh, yeah, you have a stag do." So I can kind of understand from that point of view. You say, oh, I'm here for to play paintball, and they're expecting that you're going to go out and get shit-faced the night before and then rock up to the site the next morning drunk, and it's going to be like the local Delta Force. They're not going to expect you to start bringing what appear to be legit gun bags in. So I can kind of understand that, but I still think it's been a complete mess up. But this is why we need to raise the profile of paintball more in the UK, and we need to show people that we aren't just. I've worked handing out paintball flyers before, and you get two sort of responses, and it's like that, oh yeah, I've done that, it was shit, or you get, I've done the real thing. And it's like, it seems to be that people have the two perceptions in mind, and airsofters are the same for thinking this of paintball. You have two perceptions in mind. You either have that paintball is just stag do's and kids' birthday parties and things like that, and it's going to cost you £100 for a box of paint, and it's going to cost you next to nothing entry. You're going to have a mask that's going to fog up all day and shit gear. Or you have people that think that it is only people that can't make it in the army. Now the reality is that yes, rentals is a very big part of what paintball is. But when you actually start getting into it, you know, you've got MagFed, you've got Pump, you've got Milsim, you've got tournament play, walk-on play, pistol play. You've got all of these different aspects of paintball that we're all nag at each other, but ultimately we're all doing the same thing. We're all shooting little gelatin balls full of paint at each other for fun. And that's it, Woods Ball, yeah. We've got all these different aspects, but people only ever think of the two things: rental and fat blokes that can't make it in the army. But we've got guys that serve, that still want to go out in there and, you know, kind of have the brotherhood that they had when they were fighting side by side people in real life. They want to experience that, but in a way that they can then go home and joke about things later on with their mates. You know, there's so much to paintball, and we need to let people know that is there. And unfortunately, I'm fairly confident at this point that the non-paintballers on my Facebook have just completely blanked me out. I have for years now, especially when I first started playing, I did nothing but talk about paintball, to the point where I stopped speaking with family members because of my obsession with paintball. Because I was basically told, bugger off. And I kind of grew up out of that a little bit and realised that not everyone wants to hear about stuff all the time. But there is, I think it's mostly because people still, even though I'll share stuff, even those that do read it, that don't play, kind of assume that it's kids' birthday parties. And it's a little bit along the same sort of lines as what video games have gone through, of people thinking, and people still think video games are only for children. It's like, you've got like proper adult themed games, like it might be a bad example, but Call of Duty is an 18 rated game, but you'll get like kids that are like 11 or 9 and 10 and 11 playing Call of Duty because their parents see video game and assume for children, because their experience of video games when they grew up was Sonic the Hedgehog or Mario, and that's it. So, and that's why you get people like Diane Abbott that are now giving it, or video games and porn cause violence, on the very same day that a study comes out that proves that porn and video games do not cause violence. For those of you in the know, a feminist named Anita Sarkeesian has made an entire career and has made hundreds, if not potentially by this point millions, out of saying that video games cause violence. No, they don't. Jack Thompson in the early 2000s, he did the same thing. Anyway, right. Let's get back to the comments. But to end it, a decent manager should have known what events are going on locally. Totally agree. Got escorted down a lovely red fire escape to some blue lights. Yeah, Tony, well, they'll have done that to separate you from the gear to make sure that they could then go through everything, confirm that everything was legit, and to seize the equipment. Right, what else? Am I right in saying they told the manager why they were staying? Yes, yes, Chan, they did. They actually said when they were booking in that they were there for a paintball event, which I think is the right thing to have done in that situation. Now, it might not have actually been the manager, but they did inform whoever it was that was on, I'm assuming, on the entry, what they were doing there. And the HDR 50 looks like was it cheaper Rhino? Cool, didn't know that. Different styles, but one doesn't cause alarm like in this situation. Well, to be fair, Chan, if the manager had kept their nose out of it, it wouldn't have caused them any alarm then. Now, I understand somebody that is mistreating mag-fed gear could cause genuine alarm. Somebody that's even mistreating regular paintball gear could cause an alarm. For example, I mean, you take the hopper and, like, in fact, even the T15, I think it's the Tippmann, no, TCR, it's the Tippmann TCR. You could put a hopper on that and a tank, and if you go out into the public with that, it won't be hard to notice that there's something not right with that. That doesn't look like a real weapon. But you take the hopper off, put the blanket cap on, take the tank off, that looks like a real weapon. Because it is still a reasonably real looking piece of equipment. And the same kind of goes for even general paintball gear. Now, of course, yes, if you turn up to if you walked into a bank with an Ego, with no hopper on and no tank, they're probably still going to look at it and go, what the hell is that? Is that like a Nerf gun or something? But for all I'm saying that, there was a genuine case, I believe it was in the States a few years back, where somebody robbed a bank using a Brass Eagle blade. Now, for those of you that don't know, think of it as being it's a marker that basically looks like that. That's the sort of colour of it. That is you can see through it like that. It's blue cheap plastic. I mean, the things were terrible markers. They felt the bits if you used them for, half an hour. they literally felt the bits in your hands. But there were cheap markers that came with sets, and there was somebody robbed a bank with one of those. Because in a lot of these instances, people are just told to just hand the stuff over. I mean, even if you go back a couple of years, there was a YouTube channel did a prank video series. No, channel, it was just a Brass Eagle blade. There was a prank channel a couple of years ago did a video series where they tried fucking with the paintball community, and they lost their YouTube channel because of it. But their first prank video was that they ran around in public firing. It was a BT4, I believe. It might have been a 98 custom. I think it was a BT4. They had a mask on. They had sight overalls. I'm kind of getting the feeling that they might have actually nicked the gear from a paintball site. But yeah, so they rocked up, overalls, mask, paintball gun, but with no paintballs, and they're jumping out on people in public and shooting this at people. The marker was cycling because it had air in it. And people were shitting themselves. There's one guy who's starting his moped and just sets off running. He is gone. You kind of catch him for dust. And it doesn't take... I mean, people just see what looks like a gun and will run. People panic. So I can't really say that that's purely down to like one play style or anything. Right. Tony, yeah, he went nuts, even started bragging about taking our stuff and how much it cost for the armed units to be there and how we wasted their time. Well, the thing is, he's right about a bit of that, Tony, but it wasn't you that wasted his time. Now, even the police themselves admitted that you didn't do anything wrong, that it was the manager has been a dick, basically. I mean, the police didn't say that, but that's the basic gist that I seem to have getting from the police's statement. But yeah, you didn't waste the time. You didn't waste their time. You did everything that you should have done. Yeah. Right. Need some players who care in the UK PSF, in your opinion. Well, I can't say that the guys that are in the UK PSF don't care, Ben. It does. I mean, you've got, I think Leds is on the UK PSF, so and he's got a pretty vested interest in trying to keep paintball going and keep going well. I can't remember what her name is, but there's one of the lasses, I think it's that runs Paintfest. I think she's involved. Now I'm crap at remembering names and stuff, but there is people that are involved with it that genuinely do care. The problem is, I mean, whoever goes to try and get involved with the committee for the UK PSF was sought last night when the committee was first formed. Whoever goes to try and get involved with the UK PSF will be accused of having biases. I know for a fact that I couldn't be involved with the UK PSF because there would be people that would accuse the UK PSF of being biased towards me, because they would say that I hate MagFed and therefore my voice should be taken off the UK PSF because I'll try and get MagFed banned or something like that, because of comments that I've made previously. And I want to make it clear, I have never wanted MagFed banned. I've never wanted First Strike banned. I supported the ban on First Strike, but not because I disagreed with the round. It was because it wasn't approved for the UK. Once it was approved for use in the UK, and even before I knew that it wasn't suitable for use in the UK at the time, I used them. Used them for a little while, found them expensive, didn't have a marker that was really appropriate for using them, just moved on. Found out that they weren't supposed to be used in the UK when there was the whole controversy with the 1-to-1 rounds and all that sort of stuff started up. Found out they were in a legal grey area. So I said, right, okay, they're not supposed to be used, they're not covered by insurance and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, fair enough. Well, not use them, and I don't think anyone else should until they're until they're evaluated. They were evaluated, they were found to be acceptable. Use them. Don't care. And if you can afford to use them, use them. As long as we're given permission to use them, we're told that they're good to use them. That's the way I view it. But there will be people that will hold that against me now. Right, what we've got, paintball 2.1.3, yeah, Ben. Just read the article, Albert, just read the article, and if it was me, I'd be on the phone to my lawyer, I'd be suing the manager in the hotel. Well, at the minute, Albert, they are trying to see, Tony and the other lads are waiting to hear back from the manager to see if, from the area manager to see what they can get sorted out. Because, as you'll have seen in the original article, they've been refused a refund, which I think is absolutely shocking. If you didn't get to use your hotel room for the purpose that you rent a hotel room for to go to sleep, well, you haven't. And also, it was their problem. It was the manager's fault that you got the police called. It wasn't your fault. You should get your money back. Defamation of character for starters, agree. Tony, been paintballing for like 2 to 3 years, now Marshall most weekends. It's a brotherhood in Alistair. Yeah, it is, Tony. It definitely is. There's nothing quite like that, you know, when you, for simplicity's sake, 2 teams. There's nothing like when you've got 2 teams going up against each other and the paint's whizzing by your head, and you're stuck in there having a good scrap with somebody right beside you. It's fantastic, and the bonds that you develop with these guys that you play with over years, it's some of these bonds that are unbreakable. I mean, I've got mates that I only ever really see at big games. I talk to them sometimes online because of the wonders of social media, but Colin, Albert, Rich Weidenbar, you know, some of these guys, I consider them to be friends, but I only really see them every now and then. And it's and others cut your hedge. I suppose it's probably getting time for that again, isn't it, Ben? But yeah, there's like a camaraderie that it lasts for years. You, it's a great bond. It's like you said, it's a brotherhood. And also the fact that you can also have that bond with the guy that's on the other side that's shooting at you as well. But then afterwards, you wipe your hits off and you just go and sit and have a talk, and you just go and have a drink down the pub or something like that after a game. It's just amazing. It's the being able that you can be on the field and you can hate each other for those few minutes potentially that you're playing against each other. And then to walk off the field and have a laugh about who did what, and to shake hands and, like I said, go down the pub and have a drink with someone. It's brilliant. Anyway, and you also said, and Alistair, it's going to be the next case if we don't get a refund and damaged and damages. Yeah, I think that would be acceptable. Chan, we never do that. I'm not sure what that was in regards to. Was it a turbo? Still not sure what that's in regards to. Bit different, running around with guns and firing them. I will agree with that, but still, it's the when people see gear, and if they only get a quick glimpse of it, they ain't gonna know. Right, so Martello, it's Leds from Planet Eclipse, Ainsley from CPBS, and Kaylee from Bristol Activities. Thank you very much for giving us that information. That's the people that are currently working with the UKPSF, or working as the UKPSF. I think we originally, when Bully left, I think we had a committee of about 30 people, and we're now down to 3. And I know I keep saying it, and it is something that I really need to get rectified soon. But I keep forgetting to renew my UKPSF, and it's a £5. It's a £5 to support UK paintball and to help keep UK paintball, or to help the UK paintball scene potentially grow into a genuine sport. If you know, the UKPSF has done a lot of work behind the scenes over the years, and they don't get enough recognition for that. But at the same time, mind, they aren't exactly being very vocal with what they've been up to for the past couple of years either. So every now and then they put out updates, and I appreciate that. But I wish they were a little bit more vocal about what they're doing. I mean, I'd love to share some of the stuff that they're doing on here and help get them a little bit more support. At least that's what I would hope. And that's to name a few. So all right, remember there might be a few more, but there's still, I mean, there was about like 30 or something when the UKPSF first went to a committee instead of just being Bully. Paintball Mark, they tried to open it up to lots of people, but it was a case of too many cooks and no one actually got on and did anything. Well, yeah, to an extent, yes. I was involved in a few meetings when Bully stepped down and the doors opened to everyone, but decided the mark had to be impartial, so I stepped away. Well, I can understand that, but at the same time, I also think that the UKPSF itself should be impartial. The only bias it should have is for paintball, and even then, I do think that depending on what is brought to them, they should be able to look at that impartially as well. So, if let's say if it was found that paintball caused people to go out and stab people, then I would expect the UKPSF, as paintball's governing body, to try and address that issue. Maybe it's a bad example, but still. Whereas from from my point of view, Martello, they do seem a bit silent. Yeah, I agree with that. Paintball Magazine will be chatting with the UKPSF to do more. Fantastic. Agreed they are quiet the past year, partly because it's not paid work, and I can totally understand that. They're doing it off their own backs, so can't fault them on that. It would be nice to hear a bit more from them, but I also understand they're doing it for free. Remember, it was the time of the fall of Shoreline, and there was a lot of bad blood around. Yes, yeah, there certainly was. Definitely. Johnny 3 Tears. Do you think that the UK PSF are biased to people that are trying to help grow the sport? No, certainly not. The UK PSF want paintball to become a registered sport in itself. So no, I certainly can't say that they're biased. Ben, yeah, but players are prepared to help, like Dex is. Well, I like to think that I'm helping, but I don't know how much I actually do help. And as I said, even if I was to try and get involved, I know that there'll be people that would want me out because I'm biased and blah 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 blah. The UK PSF have completed a study with the uni. Yes, Martello. I do actually have information on that. I've got it around here somewhere. Committee news. This was posted around about the 15th. It would have been the week before, the 15th and 16th of December 2018. Website sports recognition. The final stages of the Leeds Beckett University study on paintball as a sport has now been completed, along with the preliminary write-up, and is currently waiting approval. Once signed off, this document should give the UK PSF the foundation to take the next step in talking to the Sports Council about paintball. For the full update, check out the the United Kingdom Paintball Sports Federation UK PSF page on Facebook. There we go. Oh, get me pen back. Yep, it was Leeds. To prove paintball is a sport that's good for mental and physical well-being. You know what it is? I can actually remember a couple of years ago, there was I think he was a Yank. I think. It was a bloke started a YouTube channel for him and his son, because they were going out and playing paintball quite regular, and it was like a bonding thing with him and his son, because his son was probably like early teens, if that, and it was a way for him to get fit and also spend some quality time with his kid. And it seemed like there was like a genuine loving father-son relationship there. And you know what it is? I kind of feel guilty that I didn't watch more of that content, because I think it was a genuinely nice thing that guy was trying to do. But as I said, I think he was an American YouTuber. If anyone knows who it was, please post up, or I might actually post up if I can use Facebook again. I might actually post up about that on one of the Facebook pages, and just see, because the guy was really trying to promote paintball as a genuinely positive, healthy thing, and he was also saying about, you know, like, show this to other people so they know that it's actually safe for to take their kids to as well. And Ben, I wish the Unknown Soldiers would, even if they just put out a statement letting people know what happened. I would love to know, because I still never. The fact that they just disappeared always annoyed me, because I loved those videos, and I thought that what they were doing was a fantastic thing as well, and they just disappeared. After the study is accepted, the next step is to prove we have thousands of registered players, which is why we need to support the UK PSF. Now, I realise I don't need to say that to you, but I wish more people would realise that. And yeah, the final chapter, Ben. Yeah, it's I wish we could have known more about what was going on with those guys. Anyway, right. So, finally, I don't know if he's still here or not, but I don't know if Colin's still here or not. But there is a link down below. I don't think I've actually still got this open anymore, so oops. But Pump Fury on Facebook, and there is a link in the description down below, are doing a caption competition to win a t-shirt. I think, if I'm right, No, I'm just going to quickly check something here. I'll just check it to make sure that I've actually got the right information. Now, if I'm right, it is to win a custom one-off Pump Fury t-shirt. Now, I'm bringing the page up here. Yes. Just want to say a massive thank you as we hit a huge milestone today, 100 likes. So how's about a caption competition? The winner will be judged by Albert, and we'll get a one-off t-shirt made for the winner. Hello there, Nightmare. Welcome to the live stream. We've been missing you. Welcome. So yes, if you haven't already, get over onto Pump Fury on Facebook. It is, well, as I said, there is a link in the description down below, but it is at the.pump.fury on Facebook. Look them up, give the page a like, and stick a caption on, and you'll win yourself a custom one-off Pump Fury t-shirt. And I'm seeing people popping, like, saying evening, seeing people saying evening to Nightmare, and I'm thinking that they're talking to me, and I want to say hello to people that have been in my chat for like an hour. Right, so yeah, go check out Pump Fury on Facebook, give the page a like, and you could win. You might win yourself a t-shirt there. Right, now I'm just going to remove that one since I've talked about that one. Right then, today's yes, no, not me. Today's big game shout out goes to one that I plan on attending this year. It is Ancaster Leisure Speed Weekend, which is being hosted on the 1st and 2nd of June. I'll just minimise this. Sorry, Colin. I'll check those out later on. Ancaster Leisure Speed Weekend, 1st and 2nd of June. As I said, it's being hosted at Ancaster Leisure in Ancaster. It is £65. Yeah, the ticket prices are £65 for the full weekend, or £40 for just the Sunday. I've been down and played this for the past 2 years in a row, and it's a cracking game to go down and play at. It's not a huge numbers game, but there is some brilliant little features on the site. You've got 2 days of paintball, free camping, free event t-shirt, free BZ technical support. There is free you get a turn on the go-karting, because Ancaster Leisure actually has a full go-karting track for to go out and have a go on. There's a free hog roast. This is the go-karting and the hog roast are included in the full ticket price. There is also trade stands and a bar and cafe and an evening party. So, and it is indoors. You can go in there. There is a proper bar, a proper hog roast and everything. You can go in there on the night time. You can, before you have a few drinks, you can go out and you can blast around the go-kart track and see if you can beat all of your mates. You can head upstairs as well, and you can actually upstairs in the main building at Lancaster Leisure. They actually have a bowling alley, so you can go up there. You can have a few drinks. You can have a couple of games of bowling with your mates. You can even get involved with guys that that you don't even know. You meet them there, you have a couple of drinks with them, have a bit talk with them, have a game of bowling, go downstairs once the party kicks off later on, have a bit dancing, a bit party. It's a brilliant game to get to, and then you can stumble across the road and go and crash in your tent. It's a cracking event to go to, and for £65 for a 2-day event, you can't go wrong with that. I'm not sure, I can't give paint prices and stuff, because there will be vendors available there on the day, so you'd be best to try and pick up your paint on the day. Even contact, now I know BZ normally attend, I don't know if they'll be, or who else will be there, but BZ are normally there, so if you wanted to in advance, if you are thinking about going down, you could contact BZ and speak to them about getting a paint deal in advance for heading down. So it's definitely one that is worth checking out, and I'll be checking it out this year. Unfortunately, I think the following week you do have, I think it's Borderlands is the following week. Right. The following week you do have Borderlands, which is being held at Outpost in Chester, I think it is, or Cheshire. So unfortunately, that's another game that I would have loved to have been able to attend this year. But this week's shout out does go to the Speed Weekend at Ancaster Leisure. Fantastic site and definitely worth checking out. But you've got to get in there fast because ticket sales are limited. Right. So what we got? Any questions for our lovely podcast? I missed it last week because we will. That's not good, Tony. You should have powered through. You should have just cracked on. I did my live show last week when I wasn't well. I'm still not well. I'm never well. But just fight through it, man. No, I can understand that, mate. If you're not feeling well, it's understandable to take a week off, get yourself pulled around. If you're not feeling up to it and you're not going to enjoy it, there's no point in doing it. But the fact that you're doing it at all, mate, is very much appreciated. It's something. The only thing for me is I wish that they were a little bit longer, because when I'm sitting at work, I love having stuff to just listen to. I can't watch anything, so I tend to listen to podcasts and stuff like that when I'm at work. But having the paintball one is something that I look forward to. I have been until last week. I have been looking forward to every week. But I'll have a think on that, and hopefully I can come back to you with some questions. Yeah, Tony saying hello, evening nightmare. Albert, yeah, Speed Weekend's a great weekend. Yes, it is. I think for the past 2 years, me, Colin, and Albert, as well as a few of the lads from Nest, we've all been down as well. And it's not Nightmare, it's Crimson. Right, fair enough. I'll try and remember that one. I'll try and remember that it's a different person using Nightmare's account. You recorded one section. That's good work, but yeah, it's understandable. Like I said, mate, if you're not feeling 100%, then there's no there's no need to do it. It's not like you're being paid to do it. So take the time, sort yourself out, and do it when you actually feeling up to it. I think it'll only be BZ at speed, as it's basically a BZ owned big game. Well, yeah, it's possible, but hopefully, well, I mean, I'm not sure if hopefully. It would be nice to have more traders there, but I can also understand it being like a heavily sponsored BZ game, that them pretty much being the sole traders on the site. Wait, what else we got? It will only be yeah, I've already read that one. Listen to Shattered Lens Marcus interview. Is the Shattered Lens podcast also on Anchor, or is it on something else? Because if it's just on Anchor, then that'd be fantastic. That's a 2-hour marathon. That'll be brilliant. I think I've gone through most of a Dungeons and Dragons campaign, like a 5-part series of a Dungeons and Dragons campaign. That I've just been listening to that, and I think the average video is about a 3-hour video, and I've done that in 2 days. So. Yeah, that's a 2-hour marathon. Yeah, that sounds brilliant for work from me. And you meant the UK Paintball podcast. I'll have to check it out. Yeah, definitely. Well, why not discuss the UK PSF? Well, that's actually something. I don't know. I don't know how you'd go about discussing that, if it was just from unless you give your thoughts on that on the UK PSF, Martello. That could be interesting. But from you again, Martello, there, newsflash, the Tauntauns just dropped out of Europe NXL. Right. So you've got that's a big profile guest. Right. Yeah, I got that. Yes. Yeah, that's a big profile guest to be having on the show. That's fantastic work, that. but the Tauntauns just dropped out of Europe NXL. Could that be something to do with paint sponsors? Because obviously, I think was it NXL that have just signed up to, is it ProShar and GI Paint or something like that? I think it was, I have notes on it. No, that's not that one. Nope, not that week. How far back was this? It's Tomahawk and ProShar only. Right. Thank you very much for the information there. So, yeah, it's the Tauntauns were a GI team. Well, that would probably explain it then. If GI have gone, nah, you aren't shooting anything else but that, then I'm guessing that the Tauntauns have decided to take a stand against NXL. If you're contracted to shoot it, then you've they've been screwed over there, haven't they? And also the Lucky 15s in UK won't be in attendance. Well, that's a bit crap. Because they've been doing really well over the past few years. So, it's a shame that these teams are dropping out. Maybe they'll change something. If teams continue to drop out, then they may change the route. They may change the stuff on it. They offered a pro spot. That's not good. I mean, obviously, it's good that they offered a pro spot. It's not good that that if they've had to knock that back because of a paint deal. That's really bad. It's potentially stopped those lads from progressing. Well, those lads and lasses from progressing their careers because of paint deals. That's rough. Anyway, Nightmare. Just saying, Nightmare Speed is a team because Ghost is out on a Magfred game for 4 days. So me Crimson is watching, so I'm new. Right. Well, welcome, Crimson. Yeah. More than welcome for the join with. The more the merrier. Yes, you guys, are always welcome. It's I want the stream to be an open place where we can all just sit down and chat and just talk about things that are going on in the paintball industry at the minute. Right. So I'll go back a page. Right then. Another shout out to a UK producer who is actually he's a regular contributor to my comment section on here. Nicky T is giving away a barrel kit to one lucky winner on his Patreon. It is an Aculock barrel kit, which he has just done a video on recently. The winner is to be announced on the 15th of March. That's this coming Friday. So unfortunately, and this is to only be given away to his Patreons. So if you haven't already signed up, you've missed this one, basically. Unfortunately. However, if you head over and sign up, you could be in with a chance of winning further prizes. Nick does regular giveaways on his Truterology page. I can't say that they're every month, but they are quite regular. All you've got to do to be in with a chance of winning is sign up to his Truterology. I forgot about that, Ben. Yes, I need to talk about that. But if you head over to the Truterology Patreon page, which there is a link in the description down below, sign up. You could be in with a chance of winning further prizes. Now, the more people get involved in this, it's going to reduce your odds. So at the minute, as a Patreon of his, I am more than happy that you aren't all signing up, because it means I might win a prize. But in good conscience, I can't hide this one from you. I can't keep this all to myself. Well, all to myself and the other 200 people that support him. So head over, sign up, and yes, you may be in with a chance of winning. As I understand it, this year alone, Nick will be giving away something like, I think it's a couple of £1,000 worth of prizes. So I may be wrong in saying this, but I think it's around £10,000 worth of prizes this year alone. So head over, check it out. There is some very nice gear that he is going to be giving away this year. And the longer that you're a Patreon of his, the more chance you have of winning as well. However, Nick has just introduced a tier system to signing up to his Patreon. So when I first signed up, and I may have to change mine because I'm not exactly flush, but when I first signed up, there was only one option, and it was roughly about $5 to sign up to support Nick on Patreon. Well, I understand not everyone... Hello, dog. Hello. Not everyone may have £5 extra that they can part with a month. So Nick has just introduced... Yes, hello. Yes. Do you want to say hello to my live stream? Do you want to say hello? Are you going to come up? Come on. Go on, give us a cuddle. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Doggo. Look, what's this? Oh, no, you're not interested. Yeah, so for those that are interested, there is now 3 different options available for if you want to become a Patreon of Nick's. The lowest is starting at $1.49 or 49 cents. So it's probably working out as roughly around about £1. For that, you can sign up, and you won't get full access to everything that he posts and everything that he does on Patreon, but you will get included in the prize draws. So for $1.49 a month, you can potentially be in with a chance of winning up to 10 grand's worth of stuff, which I think is pretty good, don't you? Yes, I bet you think that's pretty good, don't you? If you know what paintball actually was. Yes. And also, I suppose, since I'm on the paintball mag, which I need to get onto Patreon and sign up to as well, also has a Patreon page. So again, another one for supporting UK industry. Head over there, sign up to that, and as I said, I'm going to be doing that. I may not do it tonight, but I will be doing it soon. But head over, support UK industry, and we can try and push paintball into the limelight more and hopefully get it seen in a positive light. Paintball politics boil your piss. Albert, politics in general are never fun. Will it fit the AK dildo looks? Potentially. Yes, Ben, but potentially. I suppose it. I don't actually know if he's given away if it's autococker barrel kit or if it's just one type of barrel kit and that's it. I'm hoping that there's the potential for to give away the barrel kit with whatever people desire that to fit. So if you happen to be shooting what are they called now? GOGS markers or smart parts markers. So there might be you might be able to get an impulse threaded one. If you're shooting autococker threaded markers like Planet Eclipse and Die and things like that, then I'm hoping that you'll get an autococker threaded barrel kit. Or if it's an A5 threads, 98 threads and stuff like that. I'm hoping that'll be an option, but unfortunately I didn't actually look that up, so you still have to go and check that one out for yourselves. I can only apologise for my feelings. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, has anybody seen the new HK looks that has been released? I know I joke about trying to keep this a family-friendly channel, but dear God, that looks like a dildo. I don't know. They've blatantly tried to copy like the Ripper style markers and Twister style markers. And they've gone for ripples. Unfortunately, Crimson, I haven't got the capacity at the moment to share stuff on screen. But if you go over, in fact, Ben, although actually, if I go into messages and Oh, that's looking on the wrong. I'm looking on the wrong thing there. That was a message from someone else. Right. I can post something in the comments here. Oh no, that's the T-Rex. Bugger. You see, now that looks more like the original Bob Longs, or like some of like the Ripper Bob Longs. The T-Rex, the HK Army T-Rex, actually looks kind of good. I mean, it kind of reminds us of an old Ion, but I liked my Ions, so. But I don't know. I wonder if I try HK Army. Let's just see if I can find something here. I don't know if the menu just released. Right. It might be in just released. Yeah, I don't know if you'll be able to see this very well. You can't really see for the. You can't really see for the writing. It's on some of the different Facebook pages, but where? No, I can't find a link to it at the minute. But it does. It just looks a bit like. It does. Just to me, it looks a little bit like a dildo. I'm sure somebody shared something on. I'm sure somebody shared it on the. On How Big Is Paintball on Facebook. So if you go on there, you'll probably be able to find something for it, please. I'm getting distracted. If you go on Facebook, you'll probably be able to find it. Bye. Yeah, you'll probably be able to find it on there. I get distracted so easy. Oh. Right. Ben, Twister, you've been mocking T2 about it for a bit. Well, like I said, it does, doesn't it? Crimson, you bought a Twister 170R. Well, from what I've seen and heard, the 170R looks like it's going to be a fantastic marker. Have you sent us a message there, Ben? Right. Fantastic. Right. What we got? By the time it takes Facebook to actually load. Come on. Right. Sure. What's going on here? Why? I just got Splat Life's page in general. Aha! Here we go. Right. Yes. Yes, it indeed does. Right. Copy and. Right. And paste. There you go. That's a link. There you go. Ghost got one because he sold his MPS SYX to his brother. Awesome. So I think he's been going on about getting one of those for he's been going on about getting a new marker for a little while now. So it's good to hear that he's finally getting something sorted out there. The Twister 170R, yeah, and right. Johnny 3T has just sent it. Not sure what you mean to that. When did this turn into PB Nation? I don't know. Right. So, did you like that, Albert? Right. So then, I've got one last talking point today. In fact, no, before I do my last talking point, because it's only a quick talking point. It's only a little one. We'll do today's video shout out, which goes to Kingfisher UK for his gameplay footage from Zavod Magfed Paint. It's from the Return to Zavod weekend, from the Return to Zavod game a couple of weekends ago. It's worth checking out. The guy does some he incorporates some zoom cam footage into his gameplay footage. Go check him out. He's a very small YouTuber in the minute, but he's definitely got potential. So, like I said, as I always say with all my shout outs and stuff that I do, there is links in the description down below. Hell, I'm going to be here for the next half an hour or something. Maybe, probably. If you haven't already, go check him out, see what you think of his stuff. If you like his content, give him a like, and just share the love. Let him know that you're there. And you know, the more we support UK creators, the more we support UK industry, the more we can do for this industry, the more we can do for this community. But yes, he's a cracking guy. I met him down at District 23. I think it was just around about Christmas, or a little bit before Christmas or something. Really nice guy. Check him. Go check his content out. He's a good player and he's a good lad. And he shot us in the back, and he had the opportunity to put a whole load of rounds into us, and he didn't. He's a good bloke. Go check him out. And he's also into some like the same sort of stuff as me. He likes his shotgun and stuff, which anybody that likes shotguns, I think can't be a bad person. Crimson, yeah, they're only sold by an American company. Yeah, at the minute, yeah. They'll probably get sold by more British companies if there's the desire for to have them over here eventually. But at the minute, I understand them having to be shipped in. And yeah, Mining Ghosts made Kingfisher. All right, yeah. You play paintball with him at walk-ons. Yeah, well, that's it. He plays at YPC quite regular. Is Kingfisher local? As I've noticed a lot of his videos at D23. Yeah, Kingfisher is. I think he's from around Yorkshire. So I think YPC's more his regular sort of site. And I think he gets involved with stuff like the 1989 club at YPC quite reasonably regular. But then you're obviously with him playing with him being in a Magfed, going to District 23 is a good choice for him, and going to the OMG games, which Return to Zavod was, perfect for him. You know, it's right up his sort of street. But yeah, that's it. Kingfisher plays at YPC, yeah, as well. Yeah. Right then. So then, for those Magfed fans out there. I think I roughly touched on this before there. At least I touched on some of the umarex stuff a little bit earlier on in this show. But some of you may or may not have seen, and I think I included something about this in my description. In the description box. In fact, no, I didn't. So if you want to see this, you will actually have to go over to my Facebook page and check this out, because I haven't included a link to it. umarex. No, it's not the shotgun this time. Although, it's not. I suppose it's not. It's not supposed to be a shotgun, but umarex. Although, actually, as a side note, the umarex shotgun, the one that I've been going on about for like the past few weeks now, is now available on pre-order. Maybe. It's the umarex shotgun that I've been going on about for weeks now is now available from battlegear.com or battlegear.co.uk. I think that's it, on pre-order. So if you just want one, apparently they are going fast, and they only have a limited stock, and that's going fast on pre-order. So they're not even in yet. Now, I can't say when they'll get more in, but I would imagine that they will within a relatively short space of time, or relatively soon. But Battle Gear, which is the shop that is connected with the District 23 site, are going to be getting these in later on this month, and will be getting them sold out. And like I said, they're already putting them up for pre-sale. So I think what I'm going to do with this is I'll probably give it a little bit before I go out and get one, because I want to see how they work a little bit more than the revolver. I'm interested how it works with firing 2 barrels at the same time and things like that. But I do really want to get my hands on one of these. So yeah, if anyone else is like me and wants to get your hands on one of these umarex double barrel shotguns, they are available from Battle Gear very soon. However, that's not what I was actually going to talk about. And as Albert said, yes, it is the umarex grenade launcher. And yes, as Albert has also said, it is a grenade launcher for a pistol. This grenade launcher, it looks like it's a proper underslung grenade launcher, but it's about that big. If you have ever seen Men in Black, the original Men in Black, it's a bit like the noisy cricket. This thing looks awesome, and if these are safe for paintball, and yes, Albert, that's exactly what I want to do with one of those shotguns. If I can get my hands on one, I really want to see if I can get Chan or Rich to 3D print us a grip, so that I can run the grenade launcher as a secondary to the pistol. Now, the thing is, I don't know how the grenade launcher, at this point, because it is so small, I don't know how the grenade launcher is going to work. The only thing I can think with the grenade launcher is that it will have to take preloaded cartridges. So I would imagine it's probably going to be something along the lines of like a Goblin Solo type shell. You pre-charge it, you stick it in, and then you use it when you need it. But Dr. Rush, and welcome to the live stream. Thank you very much for joining us. It may be as useful as the shotgun. In other words, not very. But I want one. I mean, come on, it's so cute. I just really want one. I've got no justification for wanting one, but that little grenade launcher thing, it looks unbelievable. It just looks amazing, and it depends on how much they are. Like if it's only 50 quid or something, I'm really tempted to buy 2, and over and under sling the grenade launchers. That's it. Its purpose is to look epic. Exactly. Yeah. I really want to just like mount one to the top of the marker and the bottom of the marker, so that at some point, if I run out, like if I fire the 6 shots, I can get a hold of it like that and try and fire it like that. I mean, it's probably going to be, I would imagine, at a guess, I'd imagine it's probably 3 50 cal rounds loaded into a pre-charged cartridge. But I want it. It's not really a Havoc launcher, Ben, but yeah. But it's really fun. I mean, if I get my hands on a Havoc launcher, which again, I think it's a K&P Customs. I shared some stuff on my Facebook page a little while ago about I think it was a couple of days ago, with some grenade launchers that were custom grenade launchers based on Havoc launchers, and they're awesome. I mean, these things, it's like for years, for probably about 5 years now or something. In fact, from the moment I saw Havoc launchers, I wanted one of those. Now, that in itself is a pretty cool thing to have, but to get your hands on one of these, they're effectively a micro launcher, is just awesome. And Johnny 3 Tiers says they're 6mm paintball BBs, paint BBs. If that's the case, then that is pretty bloody awesome. If that is the case, if they're 6mm BBs, I really want one. Because I mean, I suppose some sites might have a problem with you using it, but like most of the magfed sort of games and stuff aren't gonna care if you're using like the 6mm paintball ball bearings. It'll just be, it would just be so much fun. And as I said, I really want to kind of try and run it as a secondary to my pistol. It's gonna be like the noisy cricket. I mean, you can even use it as, if depending on what sort of style game you're playing. If you're playing something like a proper milsim, you could stash that in a pocket or in a pouch or something. And let's just say, you're playing a milsim event, you get captured, your weapon gets confiscated. You could have that on you, like the idea with the Goblin Solo. Have it somewhere on your person. When you're captured, you're taken back to wherever the general is or commander or something like that, and you could use it to take out the commander and to smuggle a weapon into the HQ of the game zone or something. It would just be awesome. Right, so from Nightmare, so everyone at Nightmare Speed QB plays at YPC. Ripper, Ghost, Black Widow, Knives, Crimson, Aizen, Matrix, Black Death, Deadshot. That's everyone that's in Nightmare Speed QB. Well, you've got a canny team there. Nice one. Nightmare, you've got a 40 mic. Those things are awesome as well. I think we need a paintball version of the 40 mic. But I think for the hold as many shots as a 40 mic, you'd basically like needing to like highly pressurize a Q loader. Was that Ben? You need to watch Terminator 2. What? It was it not a Winchester that he had in was it the Winchester 1884 or something that he has in Terminator 2. It's he swings it round for to recock it, because it's got the undercocking kit thing, which Colin has one of those for airsoft. Albert, you're trying to get your hands on a t-shirt launcher like your friend's got. Oh, now that's not just gonna like launch a little Nerf dart across the field, like a little Nerf rocket. That's gonna put smoke grenades through people. Albert, had to go and it'll fire a full pot of paint, 160 in one go. Is that a full pot of paint without opening the pot of paint? No, the smoke/plastic 6-round thing. Yes, the proper big grenade launcher thing. Yeah, well, that's it. There was actually somebody from, I'm trying to think, was it Cap Customs? Or is it Cap Customs or something like that? That I'll just scroll down through my Facebook here. Right. That grenade launcher is absolutely tiny. It is awesome. But right, what we're doing? Come on, load. Yeah, it's K&P Customs Shop. If you look up K&P Customs Shop on Facebook, some of the creations that they have that they've created using Havoc launchers are just awesome. That's it. Yeah, Ben. There was, in fact, I think I only shared one to my Facebook page, but they had shared, it was a 6-shot, like that mag thing that they adapted the Havoc launcher to fire, because the Havoc launcher, for those that might not be aware, was basically like a slightly smaller version of the T-shirt launcher. That it was like a bazooka, and you could That was it. Yeah, Ben. I shared one. I shared the multi-shot. Sorry, I shared the 6-chamber thing in the team chat. But I also shared another one on my Facebook page, which was a double-barrel Havoc launcher, which looks pretty badass. But it's, I mean, saying about wanting the double-barrel shotgun from Umarex. This is like that on roids. It is. It would be huge. I mean, you stick an air tank on the back of that, and it's going to be break barrel, because I mean that was one of the ways that you could use the Havoc launcher, but it is huge because they've actually mounted 2 Havoc launchers side by side. Yeah, it is bloody massive. Nightmare, Crimson, sorry. You play Speed QB, Speedball, Scenario Magfred, and Airsoft. Well, that's it, yeah. It is just whatever gets you going, mate, as long as you have fun. Right, what else we got? The problem is the t-shirt launcher is hard / near impossible to chrono. Well, that's the thing, Albert. I don't know if the Havoc launcher, if you could even actually chronograph that. I can't say that you couldn't, but the problem was the thing is the Havoc launcher by rights wasn't really created. And I know I'm talking about the Havoc launcher, not the t-shirt launcher like you are. But the Havoc launcher wasn't really created as an anti-personnel thing. It was meant to be created as an anti-tank thing for big games, that would be the plan that they would be using for the t-shirt launcher. Now, if you're firing individual balls in that, you're not gonna hit. Yeah, well, I'm saying individual balls. If you are trying to use it kind of like a scatter shot, you're not going to get shots traveling over 300 from that. I'd be very surprised if you got really hot shots out of that. They'd lose their velocity pretty fast because it's not a controlled shot. This is my opinion on things. I may be totally bloody wrong. I'm not a physicist. But I wouldn't think that you'd get particularly really hot shots from it. I would think that you'd get more for like lower. I think you'd get just a wider range at lower velocity, but it would still be fun to use. Now, if you had to say fire something larger like a Nerf rocket, or for that matter, like a t-shirt. I mean, I suppose if you're firing t-shirts, they've got to be low enough that when if they hit somebody, it's not going to kill someone. But I've never really experienced a proper t-shirt launcher, but I do know that in the case of the Havoc launchers, there was a video from, I think it was Hustle Paintball, because I'm pretty sure, I think it was those guys that actually created them, or they worked very closely with them or something. When Hustle Paintball got their hands on a few of these Havoc launchers, they were sneaking up on each other in the factory unit that they worked in, and shooting each other in the back and stuff with these Havoc launchers. And apart from a bit of a whack from them being hit, they were all fine. I mean, it just seemed like it was more good fun than anything else. Metadine, yes, it was the Metadine Havoc launcher, and they also attempted a pump, which was the Metadine Thumper, I believe. But the Thumper was an absolute failure, unfortunately. It was an interesting design. You actually pumped it from the back, and I think you had to pump it forward, then back to load it. You could actually pump it with your thumb from behind. But it never caught on, and they just... I did hear that there was none of them really did very well. But again, it's one of those markers that I'd be very interested in getting my hands on, because I think it would be very unique to have. And that was it. Had a moving barrel. Yeah. Nightmare. You might have teammates called Wolf and Raven. Cool. Raven. Cool. Right. Go back a little bit here. Tony, the shotgun you want is so... The shotgun I want is so bad, but think it's going to be pricey. Time to go on Battle Gear UK. What's the shotgun that you want, Tony? Is it like one of the RAM ones from Rap 4? Or is it, because the double barrel is nice from the one that Umarex has made, that is being sold on battlegear.co.uk, well, on Battle Gear. That one, it's cool, but realistically, it's not a function. It is functional, obviously, but it's not a that's practical. Yes, the Umarex shotgun, it's not practical for use in games, but it's not designed by rights. It's not designed to be used in game. Primarily, it is designed for home defense. However, because of and now I can't say for certain when it comes to the Umarex shotgun because it's 68 cal, but if it's F-stamped, then it should be below 200 feet per second, as I understand it. Now, if that's the case, then it's okay for us to use because it falls below the legal velocities and stuff. But you've got to remember they're not actually designed for home defense, so we're just using them for playing with. As F-stamping only applies in Germany, it does, Ben, but the markers that we're getting are F-stamped from Germany because Umarex is a partly German company. I think it is. I think it's. I think they've got like a factory in Germany, Austria, and I think they've got one in North America as well. It's only 7.5 joules, whatever that equates to. Ben would be the better one for telling you that. I know that with the HDR50, that is the 7.5 joules version, which fires around about with 50 cal paint, fires roughly around about 350 feet per second, which in comparison to 68 cal is, if for them to fire comparatively, 68 cal ball traveling at 300, roughly 300 feet per second or 280 feet per second would equal roughly around almost 500 feet per second in 50 cal. It's something like that. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a physicist, so it was Ben that ran through this stuff with me a little while ago. The video that you've seen the shoot, Dr. Rush, is that the shotguns that you're saying shoot 196 feet per second? Because I mean, if the shotguns are shooting 195 feet per second, then that is well below the legal limit for paintball. But like I said, you've got to remember that these things weren't actually designed. The Umarex equipment wasn't designed for paintball. Yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much for that, and Dr. Rush. Yeah, they weren't designed for paintball ultimately. They were designed for home defense. We're just, for, as somebody said to me, bastardizing them for what we want to use them for. Which, that's fine. That works. But as I said, even the HDR50, really, it's not practical for paintball, but it's fun. It is certainly fun, and I'm all about the fun of it. It's like, if you were going out and you were having fun with the gear that you were using, it doesn't matter what you're using. You could be using a cheap, like something that you've bought at Walmart. As long as you are getting out and having fun, that is all that matters. And that's all that I want people to do, is I want people to go out and have fun. And it's... I don't know what more I can say to that. But yes, the Umarex shotgun is definitely one that I do want to pick up, because I think it looks like it's going to be really fun to use. But if you're wanting a practical shotgun to use, now you're saying about it being expensive. If you're wanting one that is practical to use, and as I said, it would be very expensive, and to be honest, by this point, it'd probably be quite hard to find. I would say the Dukey DSG. there were, if you look up the Juki DSG on, if you go on mcbrown.com, or if you go, or if you even just type in Juki DSG on Google and then search images, when you get them, you only get the functioning part of the shotgun. But then when you see people that have put their own stocks on them, and people that have put their own furniture and all this sort of stuff, and their own barrels, all of this gear that they put on, because it takes Remington, I think it's Remington 700 furniture. Some of these look beautiful. I've only ever seen one in the UK, and it belonged, when I saw it, it belonged to Tiny from Magfed PB UK. Belonged to him, and he had, I think it was proper. It was the olive drab green proper stock of furniture, like the military style furniture, so it looked like a real deal military shotgun. And that thing, it functions using CCI Phantom parts, so some CCI Phantom parts, so that's some of these same parts from this marker, but then it's a proper fed from underneath and everything. Beautiful piece of kit. Now that is, like, to me, that is the supreme of paintball shotguns. However, there was only ever a limited run made, and they were expensive when they were being made. So now that the guy's not making them anymore, at least not to my knowledge, I would only imagine that they're going up in value. But if you can find one, I don't expect if I ever see you on field, I want to touch it. Oh, right. What's being said here? I think I've missed some stuff. Right. So, Crimson, they sent you and Ghost a message yesterday asking to join. Ah, champion, mate. Well, keep swelling your numbers, keep getting out and playing and having fun. That's fantastic to hear, man. Albert, he's fired in the basement of a shop. Christ, it was loud and had part of the ceiling fell down and made one hell of a mess. I bet you did. You aren't supposed to fire cannons indoors. umarex one, I had a friend with an APS one, but the shells for them are pricey. Yeah, you see, now that's the thing that puts me off with like markers that have actual shells in them. Yes, they're really cool, and having the whole shell eject when you fire it is really exciting. But if you're going to go down the route of having a shell eject when you fire it, you need to make sure that you're using like a shell catcher, which then kind of takes away from the fact of having a shell ejection. But to me, it's, if I was firing real steel, then I wouldn't care about having shotgun shells. I wouldn't care about picking shells up, because that's just byproduct by that afterwards. But when you're playing paintball regular, and if you're pumping it and you're dropping the shells, it means either after the game you have to go around and collect them up, or if you're trying to use something like that in a big game, you have to then make sure that you police your brass constantly. There's no just firing off a full mag, reloading it and running off. You're going to have to collect everything before you go, which is then going to make you less efficient as a player on the field. And I know, I'd like to say I like my efficiency, but this body doesn't do efficient anymore. But yeah, I mean, I've seen those things and they are really cool. But I prefer stuff like I said, with like the Juki DSG, or even some of the Hammer 7 mods, which I think someone's mentioned here. Some of those sort of things, because you don't have to worry about policing your brass, I think are fantastic. Yeah, Ben, F-stamping only applies in Germany, yeah, but as I said, some of these markers, like my HDR50, it's F-stamped, so I could, by rights, I suppose, and I don't know the full law, Dr. Rush, if he's still here, could probably correct us on this if I get anything wrong, but like, if I was to go into Germany and I was stopped with nearly all of my gear, pretty much every single thing that I would have, marker-wise, on us, could be confiscated except for my HDR50. Even though my HDR50 is the most realistic looking thing that I've got, that would be fine, because it is F-stamped. And welcome back there, Colin. Thank you very much for rejoining. Oh no, it was one of the comments popping up on there. I thought it was something like a shadow across half my face there. Albert, you had your friend's wife run down thinking we're blowing ourselves up. Yeah, I'm not surprised, mate. Ben, you don't do maths after 9 on a Wednesday. You're not Carol Vorderman. All right, yeah. If anybody needs any equations worked out for velocities and stuff, you'll have to wait until next week's show and early on. The APS shotguns are cool. Yeah, they are, Tony. And really nice, but the shells cost a fortune. That's exactly it. Now, you lose one of those shells, you're going to be kind of a bit miffed, aren't you? But a lot of people turn Hammer 7s into shotguns. They did, and there has been some genuinely really nice looking, sort of proper rugged looking shotguns that people have made out of Hammer 7s. But the problem is, I don't know why Kingman did it. Oh, well, why was it Kingman? I think it was Kingman Spider, wasn't it? Now, I just don't understand why they stopped making the Hammer 7. The Hammer 7 was probably one of the best-selling markers they have had in years, and for some reason they just stopped. If anybody knows why Kingman stopped making the Hammer 7, I would love to know the reason for that, because, as I said, I mean, they were a loved marker. People absolutely adored them. They're basically a cheaper version of that, and they were well, cheaper mag-fed version of that were highly moddable, and because they were cheap, I think when they were first sold they were about 85 quid. So you could buy a Hammer 7 for about 85 quid, modify it intensely, and if you messed up, you could chuck it in the bin. Strip out all the working parts and everything, chuck the rubbish broken bits in the bin, and buy another one and start again. And all you've lost is 85 quid, and you've received a handful of parts. Now, I don't understand why people would do that. I don't understand why Kingman thought in that ultimate wisdom that was a good idea. I mean, you've got people like for example, the Hidden Hedgehog, who I think he uses Hammer 7s almost exclusively now. He even had a SAR 12 for a little while, which is, for those that might not know, was a full-on, purpose-built paintball sniper rifle. He had one of those for a little while and went back to using a Hammer 7 because he found that the Hammer 7 worked better for him. So, the SAR 12 was like something like £1,000. He's going out there and putting shots on faces with a marker that costs less than 10% of what it costs to buy a SAR 12. Yeah, what can you say to that? People just love them, and you can do so much with them, and then they were taken off the market. But yeah, was it? Do you think it would be wise for me to have one like that with your track record? Well, Tony, the thing is, it would be classified as a RIF, realistic imitation firearm, which, as I understand it, there is no legal reason for that. There's no, and I may get things wrong. Please never take what I say 100%. Always go and do your own research. Always clarify that what I'm saying is true. If I'm talking shit and you know better, tell us, and I'll try and rectify what I'm saying when I'm saying it. But as I understand it, you owning a RIF in the UK, there is nothing illegal about that unless you start performing illegal activities, which would be, for example, causing fear of, which would be inciting fear into the public. So if you went around waving a realistic imitation firearm in public, then you could get done with like a firearms offence or something. But the simple act of you owning one is not illegal. You owning a firearm would be illegal unless you have the correct paperwork, but simply owning a realistic imitation firearm isn't. Now there is some legalities on buying and selling them and things like that, which I don't know the complete ins and outs, so I'm not even going to try and bullshit you on that. But yes, why not? You could get yourself one of the ABS shotguns. It was it ABS, APS. You get one of those, and it would be perfectly fine for you to have. And even if, like, let's say, for example, you had that in the room when the police raided you, you had all of the gear there showing that you were going to a paintball event. Now, that is another one, is having reasonable defense for owning pieces of equipment like that. Like, you can get cosplay registration, which shows that you've got a piece of equipment for the purpose of cosplay. You can get like reenactment clubs and stuff for having realistic imitation firearms for the purpose of reenactment. There's obviously like airsoft has reasonable defense over having like their skirmish licenses or UKARA the license. Even though if you say license to an airsofter, a lot of them freak out because it's not a license, even though it's a license. So having a TV license isn't a license, but it's a license. But yeah. You by rights, you should be okay to have one of those. But I'm not exactly sure what the legality is of like buying and selling one. That Phantom would look good with some team grip panels. Well, Ben, it may just get some team grip panels. Yes, Colin, I think I've already said hello back to you. And yes, the most common Hammer 7 mods for where they've been turned into shotguns are generally tube fed as opposed to mag fed. However, I would argue that most real shotguns, especially over like pump action shotguns, they're not mag fed, they are in fact tube fed. Yes, it was Kingman. Yes, everything is Brexit's fault. Just Paintball had them in for 79 quid. Yeah, and this is it. Just Paintball, there was a lot of shops were selling them around about the £80 mark, and they sold off the shelves. I bought one and had one for, I think I had it for like a couple of weeks. I took it to a Stargate game. I loaded it up with First Strikes because I had all these plans on making it into a First Strike rifle. I wasn't planning on like customizing it or anything. I was literally just going to use it with First Strike because they were First Strike ready as well, which was another great feature with them. I took it out in the chronograph range to chronograph it. I pumped it back and it unloaded the entire mag out in one go. I have no idea what that was that I've just dropped. So yeah, I took it back to the safe zone, I put it back in the box, and I sold it. And somebody else out there has probably chopped it up and made it into a pump action. And made it into like a shotgun type thing. Dr. Rush, the HDR would be fine, F-stamped and from a registered trader. Some manufacturers put F-stamp on without knowing what it means. Be careful with that, it means nothing. Yeah, well this is it. I have actually seen like markers come from like, say from like Planet Eclipse. Just as an example, I can't say for certain it was them, but I have seen genuine markers that have come from factories and stuff with F-stamp marks on them. But you can adjust the velocity. Now, as I understand it, with F-stamping, it needs to be semi-automatic, and you can't adjust the velocity on it. Hence why you can't adjust the velocity on the HDR, and it's semi-automatic. Now, if you've got a marker that you can then adjust the firing modes on, and you can adjust the velocity on, that F-stamp is completely and utterly worthless. And that's why, as I understand it, there is a lot of German players that then go outside of Germany. They don't actually own markers themselves, although in some cases they do. But there's a lot of German players that will actually leave markers with friends who live outside of Germany, and they will then go play paintball with those friends outside of Germany. And I think I've mentioned it before, but it was probably knocking on 10 years ago, because I don't think I'd been in paintball for very long, when there was a tournament event somewhere in Germany was raided, where they confiscated, I believe it was 56 paintball markers, and these were at the time, some of these were like brand new, or next to brand new, high-level tournament markers, and the vast majority of them were destroyed. I believe one person got a marker back. The police raided a live field. It was an indoor event, and there was footage of it on YouTube and everything, because all of these markers that the players were using weren't F-stamped. So, yeah. But thanks very much for that information, Dr. Rush. It's much appreciated. And I've always thought if I was to come to Germany to play, I've always thought I'd probably, in fact, to be honest, if I went anywhere that was really far away, I'd probably look at either buying or renting a marker, or borrowing a marker when I was there. But thank you very much for the information. Colin, I'm not so much of a fan of the milsim stuff, but I always wanted to drop a SAR 12 drive into a proper laminate rifle stock. Yeah. The thing is, I mean, in all fairness, I think the SAR 12 looks pretty realistic as it is. It almost looks like a Barrett 50 cal, because it is a big bulky marker that has big bulky mags. So yeah, it kind of almost looks like that to me already. But yeah, I mean, if you were to put it into something like was it the L94 something like that? Say into a stock for something like that, it could look bloody awesome. Tony, but Dexter is gospel. I don't know about that, mate. I've said it before. I'm just some twat with a webcam. Albert, the Hammer 7 was taken off the market as it was blasphemy. I know what you're saying, Albert, but it was also a marker. It was a pump that could fire first strike. So, you know, it's a bit like I can't remember what it's Colin. I think you might have more of an idea here, but is it ADN that do the pump conversion kits for autocockers and for cocker pumps? Because I think that's what Pete's got, isn't it? And the fact that like having a pump or an autococker that can fire first strike is pretty cool. I don't think I could afford to use it. Well, I don't think I could afford to like shoot first strike like that, but it would definitely be pretty cool. Which is something like just reminded us. I'm sure I saw it on the video. I think it might have been last week or the week before. One sec. I think it might have been 2 weeks ago now. Right. The video from the 2nd and 3rd of March. So yeah, 2 weeks ago. In the video from the First Strike booth at Paintball Extravaganza, they were showing off boxes where it looks like you're going to be able to buy, I think it was a box of 1,000 First Strike. That's going to be expensive. There were quite big boxes of First Strike that you could buy. So I think it must have been like about 1,000 balls, 1,000 First Strike that you could buy in one go. It's like I think that'll be like the same amount of money that I would spend on paint for a full weekend. And if I had access to something that was either semi-automatic or a pump with slam fire and First Strikes, I don't have good trigger. I don't have brilliant trigger discipline. I play pump because I have no trigger discipline. So, giving us something where it's like 50 pence a shot, not a good idea. Right, Colin, Pump Fury grips. Yes, Albert. Yes, Pump Fury grips. Pump Fury grips would be interesting, yeah. Nightmare. Yeah. You're converting two 12-gauge shotguns to shoot First Strike. I don't think there'll be many fields that let you play with those, mate. I've seen stuff like that done. And for the most part, places aren't prepared to let you use them. Colin, it's based loosely on in real life rifles. Yeah, that's understandable. Ben, yes. Colin, yes. ADN. Yeah, I thought it was the ADN one. Albert, mag and pump should not be said in the same sentence. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but then the Juki DSG is technically a pump action. It's a pump action paintball gun that is applicable to MagFed. Nightmare. The L115 or L96. I thought it was the L96. It's not the L94. I don't even know what the L94 is. Anyway. Right, anyway, guys. I think we'll call it quits there for tonight. It's now 2 hours and 10 minutes in. So, thank you very much for watching, guys. It's been interesting talking to you tonight. Unfortunately, as was discussed earlier on, we weren't able to get as many people in tonight as we could have possibly gotten due to Facebook being screwy. But I did notice that Martello had posted on Facebook there earlier on that he too seems to have been having problems with Facebook. So, what can you do? It seems like nobody's had a great time of it tonight. But I've had a great time of it tonight with you guys. So thank you once again for joining us. That's it. Blame Brexit. It's Brexit's fault and everything. Yeah. So thank you very much for joining us, guys. It's always appreciated, and it's always appreciated. If you just want to come back and join next time, I will be here the same time, same place next week. I may, if I get a chance, even upload something this weekend. Probably not, but keep an eye out. I might. Thank you very much for watching us. Thank you very much for watching the live stream. And I guess I will see you next week, guys. Catch you later. Thank you, and